the direct descendant of 3 Revolutionary War heroes, and one of them is Jonathan Conger, and that is my 6th great-grandfather. And actually he delivered a seal that went to George Rogers Clark. And for his efforts in the Revolutionary War, they were given 100 acres of land, and that has been passed down generation to generation in my family, and our family still owns that land today.
One of my favorite stories is a family member named John Kniff, and he was fighting for the North. And as we find out later, we had family members fighting roughly in the same places in the South. And when he was in Mississippi, this is kind of toward the end of the war, he was shot in the hip, and the reason we know that is we ended up finding his VA disability compensation forms. So, you know, we have those, and it's really neat because it gives us an idea of even what the VA was doing, you know, well over 100 years ago. But he ended up getting compensation. He had a pretty serious injury in his leg, and you know, lived out his life, and was a disabled veteran.
When World War II broke out, my father joined the Navy. My family has been in all branches of the military, but probably Navy more than any of them. He ended up in the South Pacific, and it was a bad time. The South Pacific was a pretty rough place to be. That was when World War II, we were doing the so-called island hopping strategy. We would get one island, then you'd skip 4 or 5 islands and take another island. He was on an island called Bougainville, and there's in fact a Picture of Life magazine from 1943 where he's helping rescue some other Marines. They were loaded onto a stretcher after a battle. You know, it's really horrible. My father and mother met before service. Of course, my dad was only about 19, so my mom was only about 16, and he had a picture of her that he kept the entire time.
The photo that he carried around of my grandmother, you know, through World War II, and you know, maybe through his Korean War service.
And he always said that's who he wanted to marry, and then when he came back from service, they in fact did marry. But I guess maybe the picture gave him an emotional crutch or something to hang on to, look forward to better days to come once he got out of service. The Americans were unloading a ship. He was on a ship called the Chiba, and they were unloading supplies. And as I understand the story, the Japanese came in and started bombing the ship, and so the ship took out to sea, and my father and a bunch of other Americans were left on that island. The other half of the island was controlled by the Japanese, and for several months they were just fighting it out. During World War II, when someone had a child off to service, they put a small flag in the window in remembrance of their child. And of course the flags then only had 48 stars. And we still have the flag that my grandmother kept in a window waiting for her son to come home from service.
We can remember what people in our family have gone through during wartime, during their military service, and so we have more sympathy, more empathy for these individuals. We know what disabilities during wartime, what they can do to you for the rest of your life, scars both mentally and physically, and how you need people supporting you to come out of that.
It's wonderful to do a job where you really feel good about what you do. Where you get up every day and you know you're doing right. You know you're fighting a good fight. You're really helping the people who have made this country what it is, who made this country free.
You have a special appreciation for veterans. I mean, you know, as Americans, I kind of think we all do. You know, just today, my uncle and I were going through some of my grandfather's, and wartime stuff, it made us teary-eyed.